They promise exposure, money, and fame. But should you be entering photo competitions? In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the pros and the cons of entering photography competitions and tell you whether I think they are really worth your time, your effort, and sometimes your money. Hi, my name is Sean Gallagher. I'm a professional photographer and filmmaker. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I've spent the past 20 years working for clients including National Geographic, The Guardian, and the Pulitzer Center. Here on my channel, I want to share with you some of the things that I've learned from throughout my career in order to help you improve your photography. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing photo competitions. They seem to be everywhere these days, from portrait competitions to wildlife to landscape. You name it, there's a competition out there for every kind of photography. I've judged a number of competitions over the years, including those organised by organisations like National Geographic and the Earth Photo Awards. I've also entered plenty of competitions over the years, so I've got a lot of experience with photo competitions. When I'm entering a competition, I have a strict set of guidelines that I follow when trying to decide whether or not I want to enter that particular competition. And I want to share some of those with you to help you make informed decisions if you're also considering entering a competition. By the end of this video, you'll know my opinion on all of this, and hopefully this advice will help you. Oh, and if you're enjoying this video, please give it a like, leave a comment and share with a friend. I really appreciate the support. Okay, let's go on to our main discussion. Why enter a photo contest? Photography competitions can be exciting, but before hitting that submit button or parting with your hard-earned cash, it's worth asking the question, are you entering to grow as a photographer, or are you just seeking validation for some reason? I think there's a fine line between healthy ambition and feeding your ego. Sometimes we're kind of drawn to contests because we want recognition for our work, to feel quote-unquote good enough or to get validation. But that mindset can be quite detrimental if you're not careful. So ask yourself, is entering this competition really helping me develop my voice as a photographer? And if I do get awarded, will it really benefit my career? Because some contests are truly meaningful. For example, they're judged by industry leaders, or they come with real career building opportunities, and they're hosted by credible organizations. But others might charge high fees or have opaque judging processes, or you feel that the marketing is geared towards profit, not the photographers. Ultimately, entering a contest isn't bad, but it's only valuable if it's really aligned with your personal and creative goals. So don't let a trophy or a certificate define your worth as a photographer. So before you hit submit on that latest competition entry, let's dive a little deeper into the pros and the cons of entering photography competitions. When done right, there are actually real benefits, and for many photographers, contests can create meaningful opportunities. First, there's exposure. A well-respected competition can put your work in front of a wider audience, not just other photographers, but curators, editors, and potential clients. Being featured in an exhibition, for example, or a publication, or even just being a finalist can lead to more eyes on your work than if you'd just been publishing work on your own. Then there's recognition. For example, having your images selected by a panel of experienced judges, especially in a competitive field, is a pretty strong vote of confidence in your vision as a photographer. And that kind of validation can be quite motivating, especially when you're still developing your voice as a photographer and finding your place in the world of photography. Prizes are another draw, of course. They can range from gear, cash, maybe mentorships, residencies, or even travel opportunities. But perhaps most importantly, competitions can bring real career opportunities. A win or even a shortlist can boost your credibility and help make you stand out and lead to maybe networking opportunities that might open new pathways in your photography. But all of this depends on which competition you choose and why you're really entering it. Next, I'm going to look at the potential downsides to entering and what you need to look out for. So entering a photography competition might seem simple. You upload a few images, pay a fee, and then hope for the best. But there are some hidden costs that every photographer should consider before submitting. First, let's talk about money. So entry fees can range from a few dollars to hundreds in extreme cases. So if you're entering multiple competitions throughout the year, it's going to add up pretty quickly. So always ask yourself, where is this money going? And is it worth it? Because reputable competitions are relatively transparent about how things like fees go into judging and exhibitions and the prizes. But in some cases, the fees, you may feel like they just support the organizers more than the photographers. Some competitions might purely be about making money for the organization, and it preys on photographers to do that, to turn a profit in exchange for quote-unquote exposure. It's also worth comparing the entry cost to the actual value of the prizes. So think about whether the prize money is a meaningful career-changing opportunity, or is it just an electronic certificate and a promise of more social media exposure. Next, there's the time that actually goes into preparing a submission. For example, selecting the images, writing the captions, filling out forms. All of that takes time, especially if the contest is quite serious. And if you multiply that by a few different entries, you're going to be putting a lot of time into it. Finally, there's the emotional toll. So rejection is part of the process. And my work has been rejected for many competitions, but it still hurts sometimes, especially when you've put a lot of time and effort into your entry and maybe spent your hard-earned money on entering. But not being selected doesn't mean your work isn't good, because the judging is always subjective. But getting repeated rejections can erode your confidence. So before entering, consider the costs, not just financial, but emotionally and creatively. Not every photo competition is worth your time, your energy, or your money. Sometimes it's better just not to enter, especially when the contest seems to benefit the organizers more than the photographers themselves. One red flag is when the entry fees are very, very high, because many contests rely on entry fees as a major revenue stream. But if those fees aren't balanced by genuine benefits for the photographers in the form of the prizes, you might be supporting a business model that prioritizes profits over the photographers. Another warning sign are contests that have dozens of categories and allow photos taken over many years, for example. Now, on the surface, this seems inclusive, but it actually means that the organizers want to attract as many entries as possible to maximize the fees. So rather than focusing on quality, they're focusing just on quantity. And this flooding will often dilute the whole quality of the contest. Also, be really cautious about the terms and conditions, because some contests include rights-grabbing clauses that can give organizers unlimited use of your images sometimes without further compensation, and you lose control of the images. And this could potentially affect your ability to license or sell your work in the future, because you don't want to lose control of your photographs because you avoided reading the terms and conditions. So whether you're an amateur or professional, your images are your creative property and you want to protect them. So make sure to read that fine print and avoid giving your images away. Focus your time and resources on competitions that respect photographers and provide real value. So, should you actually enter photography competitions? There's no one answer, but it comes down to weighing up those pros and the cons in the context of your own goals. So start by asking yourself, what am I hoping to get from this experience? Recognition, exposure, career momentum. Then consider the costs, both financial and personal. Is there an entry fee? If so, is it reasonable? Think about the time that it takes to enter your submission, write statements, and create different formats for images. Is your time worth the entry. Next, look into the credibility of the competition and ask yourself, is this run by a respected organization, festival, or publication? Or is it just a rights-grabbing company that's just trying to collect as many images as they can and to use your rights in the future? If so, that's a huge red flag. A helpful step is to actually research the past winners. You can do a quick Google search and that'll tell you a lot. So you can have a look to see if the winners really got exposure or anything meaningful from the competition. Did they get media coverage, new clients, or has their win just gone largely unnoticed? Entering the right competition at the right time can be a valuable move, but doing so blindly will potentially waste your time and your energy and maybe compromise your work. So make your decision carefully. The right decision could make a huge difference in your photography career. Have you entered a photo competition recently? If so, what was your experience? Leave a comment in the comment section below and let me know. If you're thinking of entering a photo competition or applying for a grant, funding, for example, I help photographers achieve their goals through my mentorship program. You can get my personal help through one-on-one video calls, and you'll get access to my monthly mentee webinars with my mentees from all around the world. Thanks for watching today's video. I hope it's been helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll see you in the next video.